Hey, what is up guys, Calum or Calum's Fish Tanks, and in today's video, we're trying to crack the code to green spot algae. I've been doing a lot of research on this stuff, and I think I may have figured out what may be causing it in your tanks, and over this week, we're going to be testing out a couple things in my 24 gallon, which keeps getting it every single week all over the glass. So let's get started. A lot of this research I've been doing is through Dennis Wong's website, The 2-Hour Aquarist. If you guys haven't checked it out, I really recommend it. I'll have a link to it down below. But here are a couple of the causes he thinks could be causing this. One would be dead and unhealthy leaves. Another would be poor plant growth. And then things like high organic matter as well as unstable tank conditions can cause it. But as you can see from my plants, I don't think it's any of those. It could be organics, but I'll be showing you guys how to treat that later. What I think it could be is the fifth option, which I didn't mention, which is no phosphates. This tank I'm going to test to see how much phosphates are in the water to figure out if there's enough phosphates for my plants present. After allowing 5 minutes for the test to complete, I take out the little chart on my phone because I lost the little color sheets, and you can see there's almost 0 in there, or maybe 0.25. It's hard to tell on the camera, but it looked like 0 in person. So what I'm going to do now is take all the gear out of the tank and start up my maintenance and make sure to scrape away as much of this stuff as I can. This will lower the chances of it coming back, hopefully, and just make the tank look better so we can see how much has grown by the end of this week. Now it's time to scrape the glass. I always use a razor blade, and a lot of people are worried about scraping their glass this way. You have to be a bit careful. It's definitely possible. I've done it once or twice, but that's in about the 2 or 3 years I've been using a razor blade to scrape my glass. It's great for taking care of a lot of the harder to reach algae, but you have to be patient with it and really make sure to get it all. Earlier I mentioned organics, and this is basically fish waste that gets stuck between your plants and stuff that'll slowly break down and make ammonia, which algae really loves and can cause spikes. So I'm going to start doing every single week is I'm going to take my turkey baster and just stir up around the substrate where plants are super densely planted, like in my carpet, and in areas that don't have a lot of plants, to make sure to get all these organics into the water column so I can remove them during my water change, and this will hopefully prevent this green dust algae from coming back. And this is also super helpful for algae like blackbeard algae especially. And now I do my weekly water change. You can see I spin the tube around every once in a while. That's just to get the organics circulating that I stirred up earlier so I can suck those up. And then I also go up to the surface to remove any dead leaves that are floating around. Those will contribute a lot to your organic levels and will help prevent algae if you do remove them regularly. So I drain it about 50% and then I fill it back up just with tap water. I don't do anything special. Here I've got fairly soft water, so it's perfect for growing plants. And then I add my fertilizers. I use Tropica Premium, and now this stuff doesn't have any phosphates in it, and I just add 2 pumps of this every single week. And I recently mixed up a phosphate mixture in my last weekly vlog, and I'm going to add 5 milliliters of this, which should add 1.3 part per million of phosphate. Now I'm going to add this, and then on Thursday I'm going to come back and test my water to see how much of that phosphate is still in the water. If it's all gone, I'll probably add a bit more. If it's not, then we won't dose anything, and we'll see by the end of the week if we do have any green spot algae present at all.
So it's currently Thursday, 3 days since I shot all the last film I got for this video, and I just finished taking a phosphate test, and I don't know how well you'll be able to pick up that color, but on the graph it looks like it's around 0.5 parts per million of phosphate. That's a lot better than the 0 I had been stuck at. So today, after I film this little part, I'm going to go dose about 2 milliliters of this, so this will add about 0.75 parts per million of phosphate to my tank. And then on Sunday, I'm going to update you guys on the green spot algae itself. So far after 3 days on the last maintenance I did on this tank, there is no sign of the green spot algae coming back. Now I'm gonna have to keep updated because Sunday is usually around when I start to see it and it's noticeable, so I'll add another part to this video of the tank on Sunday to update you guys. But let's talk about what else could be causing your green spot algae. I know I mentioned them earlier, but let's talk about solutions to those as well. So apart from phosphates and organics, which I've already talked about, overall plant health can be a cause of green spot algae as well. Things like old dying leaves will contribute to this a lot, and that's usually when you start to see this stuff on your plants. Now, to counter this, I'd go in and trim off any dead leaves frequently, and if that doesn't fix things, if you still have a bunch of old leaves dying, you may need to change up the light you're using on your aquarium, or just switch what kind of plants to something you can grow healthier and just an easier growing plant in general. On my tanks, I use Chihiro's lights from aquariumco2.ca. I'll have a link to them down below, as well as my promo code Calum for 5% off. And these lights are super good, super strong, so I don't really have to worry about old leaves dying. I found they do a really good job at getting down to the bottom and keeping those leaves alive, so I knew for me it was either A, phosphates, or B, organics. So now I'm gonna go back and add some phosphates, and then I'll update you guys on Sunday, like I said, to test this little theory. So it's Sunday and the results are in. I just tested the phosphate again and we're about 0.25, 0.5. So there's consistent levels of phosphate in the tank now, or at least a little bit left behind. And I went and scanned the whole tank for any green spot algae. So last week there must have been a couple areas where I missed scraping it because there's green spot algae still in the tank, but only in very few areas. The front glass is completely clear of this stuff and none has come back by the end of the week. So do these methods work? I think so. It's not 100% sure because I still have a little bit of this, but it made it a lot better. I'm gonna mess around a bit with my phosphate dosings next week, and then in the next weekly vlog I'll update you guys on how the tank has done and if there is any changes to the green spot algae situation in the 24 gallon. But overall it's a lot better, and I think these definitely helped for sure. I'm definitely going to make sure to also keep an eye on my organics, stirring up the substrate during every water change to make sure these don't start to get out of hand, and keep an eye on that as well to hopefully prevent this stuff from ever coming back, because it's a pain to scrape this. It's just a mess, honestly. So guys, if you're gonna test this out yourself, let me know down below in the comments how it goes for you, because it's just an experiment and my tank may be a bit different than yours. So let me know down below in the comments how it went for you if you do end up trying this out, and make sure to leave a like down below if you did enjoy this video. Anyways guys, this was Calum's Fish Tanks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.